Hey, good Friday morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. It's the end of the week and it's Friday, so we're doing another Zoom call interview, kind of get to know the community thing. And this week is really cool. It is Frank Jenkins, and we just had such a blast with him on this Zoom call. We actually got to meet Frank in person a few years ago when he came to our place when we had a class in October of 2018, I think. And anyway, you guys will really enjoy this. Frank is an amazing human being, a great sign carver, and just a really, really good friend. He's been with us for many, many years now, and we just love Frank. So stay tuned, guys. Hope you guys like this. Hope these Zoom calls are valuable, that you guys get something out of it. I think it's so cool that it just brings a community together. But anyway, I'll shut up now. Here's Frank.
He just emailed me earlier today, and he wants me to make him a sign for his business.
Wow.
So we're going to get together and figure out something for his business.
Fantastic. That's terrific. I'm just tickled for you. Excellent. Well, since we're going to start this thing out, why don't you kind of introduce yourself to the audience and kind of give a synopsis of who you are, where you are, what you do, and what you've done, and just lay it all out.
How far back do you want me to go?
As far back as you want to.
Well, my name's Frank Jenkins. I'm from Angleton, Texas, which is about 43 miles south of Houston, about 16 miles north of the Gulf of Mexico. So every hurricane season, we feel the brunt that comes around this way. I got into this wood carving in, I think it was 2009, maybe late 2008. We had a sign that one of our neighbors had made for us. My wife Beth had him make us a name sign, and it was needing some repair. And I thought, well, I think I can do that. So I had a couple of routers that belonged to my dad and to my father-in-law, big clunky Craftsman routers.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I'll go see what I can do. So I looked at some bits, and one of them was a rather dull but still workable 90-degree beat point. I mean, it might have been a half-inch wide bit. I don't remember the size. But anyway, I used that, found me a piece of wood, and made it. And it was rude and crude, but hey, my bride was happy, so I was happy. And I got to where I thought, hey, I really like this. So I had set up some sawhorses under the carport and a piece of plywood I was working on. And after I made that one, I started looking around. I said, man, YouTube is pretty popular. Let's see what I can find on there. And it was probably 6 hours later, and I found Old Dave 100, and I've been hooked ever since. So it's all your fault. You and your dad.
Amazing.
But, it's progressed from there. It went from fun to an obsession, obsession. I can't say the word. And now that I retired from my regular full-time day job of 40 years, I'm doing this as a sideline business in my retirement, and it's Pop's Custom Signs LLC. And again, I wouldn't have done it without you guys leading the way. So thank y'all.
Wow, amazing. That's still 2009. I had no idea that we had been connected that long. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was, and the reason I know what year it was, because it was 2009. I had a heat stroke under my carport doing that church sign that I did.
Uh-huh.
So I remember it was in July of 2009, and I had already met you guys and had studied on your videos and whatnot. So I know it was in 2009 that I connected up with y'all.
Yeah, amazing. So what did you do before you retired? What was your job?
Well, I went to college and majored in machine tools technology. Actually, machine tool design was my college degree. So I worked for a family-owned machine shop, a third-generation family-owned business. I was fortunate to work for the second and the third generation, and I worked for them. I retired on my 40th anniversary with the company.
Wow.
And I retired December 18th of 2018, and that was 40 years on the money with the same company.
Wow.
And we catered to the petrochem industry, the chemical plants all around the world, wastewater treatment plants. We made special plastic control valves for acids and things like that. You think of the nasty services like the chlorines and sulfuric acids and nitric acids, the caustic sodas, all the nasty corrosive atmosphere. That's where we shine. That's where our valves work best. And my job when I retired, I started working as a machinist. About 2 years into it, they asked me to take a purchasing job temporarily, and I worked in that job for about 20 years. And then was doing some inside sales calls. And then about the last 18 to 20 years, I was in sales for the company. And I traveled all over the United States and Canada to the various chemical plants and paper mills and wastewater treatment plants and things like that, and conducted training seminars on how to maintain our valves, and as well as sales calls. So it was very, very rewarding. I enjoyed it.
Now, I remember not too long ago you said something about you would never, now I understand further, you would never carve pallet wood. That's just
No.
something you wouldn't do because of, and now I kind of get it, the experiences that you have. So give us some thoughts on that.
Well, pallets, they're marked when they're brand new if they're treated for the bugs and things like that that they have to have for shipping purposes. But that's when they're brand new. And I've seen all sorts of nasty things that have gotten spilled on them and absorbed into them. And it's just waiting to be released by either cutting them on it with a planer or your router or hand planed or whatever. There is nasty, nasty chemicals that could possibly be released.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty remote possibility, but with my 40 years of working in some of the nasty stuff,
Yeah.
I don't want to take a chance. So I won't touch them. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, it only takes one. You could work with pallets for 10 years, and it only takes one. If you happen to get the wrong one and you're not prepared for it and you're not masked up or whatever,
Yeah.
that just seems pretty risky to me.
Yeah, I being asthmatic and allergic to South Texas is the best way to describe it. It's easier to say I'm allergic to Texas than it is to list all the things I'm allergic to. I wear dust protection when I carve cedar.
Yeah.
And I used to wear it every single time. And I even have 2 wind air filtration units in this 12 by 16 shop.
Yeah.
And it does a good job, but it didn't do quite as good as I wanted it to do. So I still wore the respirator. But when I bought my jet dust collection system, that made all the difference in the world. I'd lay the suction hose out in front of my table, and it pulls in probably 90%
Wow.
of my debris and stuff. And I don't even run the overhead air protection anymore. I don't wear air mask. It does such a wonderful job.
So you've got one of the jet, like the double bag systems with the bag.
I went a step above that. I have the bag underneath for catching, but I have the canister filter on top.
Gotcha.
It's a pleated filter, and there is a little drum scraper, if you will, that you spin it around and around, and it knocks the fine dust particles out of the filter and lets them drop into the bag.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. I love that tool. My plans are to eventually hard pipe it in and just have drops coming down to my tools. But right now, I just hook the 4-inch hose up to my various tools, or I'll clamp it on my table if I'm carving. That way I'm not being bound up by the hose in the router.
So you're carving here and you clamp it in front of where the router is? Yeah.
Right. I clamp it in front. It's not attached to the router, nor is it attached to my board.
Right.
It's usually clamped to my table.
Yeah.
And then it does a good job of exporting out the back, like you said, because I cleaned out opened up the back of my router bases, and that did make a difference in the world. If you people have not done it, you need to.
Yeah, it only took me about 30 seconds to figure that out, and I was going to give up on the whole idea, and I told Dad about it, and he says, well, why don't we open up the back side? And I go, well, that's a machinist for you, you know, and a problem solver. So, he did, and it made all the difference, all the world.
Oh, it did. I mean, I was worried, I started with a rigid, the little R 2401 or 4201, whatever it is. And it had the opening in the back.
Right.
And well, you were touting the 611, and I really liked the looks of the 611. And the brushes went out on my rigid, and I was actually doing a sign for that. And the brushes went out, and I told her, I said, I don't know what happened. I said, but my router just quit, and I've got to she didn't know I was doing it for her. And I said, but I've got to get this sign finished for a customer. I said, I'm sorry, I've got to go get another router. I don't have time to find out what's wrong. I knew what was wrong.
Yeah.
But I wanted that DeWalt. And she saw how much fun I was having with it and the progression that I had gotten better. And she said, go get that yellow one that who's that guy? Eric? I said, yeah, Eric and Dave. She said, well, go get the one they like. And I said, it's your fault. So I went and got it, came back, and lo and behold, miraculously, a couple of weeks later, some brushes showed up for my rigid. Now I had 2 working routers, plus the 2 that I had inherited from my dad and father-in-law. So then it was 4 routers. I hate to say it, I'm now up to 7.
Yeah. I think I heard you say that you've started a little collection. Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm counting the one in my router table too. But if I find one at a garage sale and plug it in, it works, I'll pick it up. I'll give them $5 for it.
Yeah.
And somebody around here needs a router or whatever, I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
Just keep them busy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have the excuse that I do it for you guys. I have to buy the new router model that I don't have, so I can do a review on it. So that's my excuse.
That works.
There you go.
But I love looking over and seeing all those routers hanging. I don't know. There's just a joy I get from that. It's goofy as heck, but I love the fact that I can walk out there and see all those routers hanging up there, and they all have bits in them. Yep.
You can see my DeWalt collection in the corner.
Yeah. So you really like that sander, huh? That disc sander?
That dude is a beast.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that sander.
Yep.
That is a beast.
I got to play with mine the other day. Yeah. Well, I say it's mine, but
Yeah.
he doesn't. So.
Yeah.
Hey, it is yours, because when we were at the seminar, you wouldn't let us guys have it, but the girls had it.
That's right.
The girls used it.
Right.
But
Yeah, so there's no doubt who owns that one.
When I first got that thing, I almost took it back because I tried to lay it flat like you do with the random orbital, which you absolutely lay flat. And it was going all over the place. It was like, what am I doing wrong? I can't figure this thing out. So I just set it aside. It laterally set for like a month until I picked it back up and started, well, wait a minute, maybe I can try it. And then I didn't go to YouTube, which I should have, but I just kind of figured it out myself. But man, once you figure out how to use that thing, it's like I've always hated sanding, but now because of that sander, I look for excuses to sand stuff. I just love that thing.
I'm one of the weird woodworkers out here. I love to sand,
So do I.
and I think it's because it's kind of a mini reveal.
Yeah.
It is. It's like an artist drawing something, and they erase this and they do that. That's how I feel about it. It's like a review.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that thing. You can take
And I think part of it is because we have the right equipment to do the job.
right.
So to me, it's enjoyable. I love to reshape wood with the sander. I love
Well,
it.
and I love the reveal of a rough, just cut piece of wood, and then you start sanding it, and it just turns into a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your plans in the future as far as your sign business goes? Are you doing anything specific marketing wise, or everything that you got is just
Well,
word of mouth, or what?
well, it's actually funny that you asked that because this is my first Zoom meeting. I have a second Zoom meeting next week with the girl that helped me set up all my social media. And we're going to discuss, because it's approaching 1 year of business. I started officially October 1st of last year. So it's about a year ago I was in face-to-face meetings with them. So we're going to try to tweak a few things and see if we can maybe pique a little more interest and make it easier if the search can find me. So we're going to look at on the 15th. I have that meeting scheduled up.
Good.
But as far as my plans are, I want to stay busy enough to make my money to go camping. But I don't want to stay too busy that I can't go camping.
Right.
I understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. You might have some fishing areas down there somewhere.
Oh, there's one or two around here. I mean, there's the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, there's quite a few. Fortunately, we have freshwater and saltwater here.
Yeah. So how far are you from the saltwater? Angleton, how far is that actually from the?
As a crow flies, we're about 16 miles from the Gulf. So if a bird was to fly here and stride directly south 16 miles, he'd be in the water.
Wow. Wow.
We're about a 25-minute car ride to the boat launch.
Wow. We need to take a road trip.
Y'all need to come on.
Yeah.
Y'all need to come on.
So
Well, I'll tell you this, and I've told y'all before, I cannot thank you enough for all the leadership, instructions, camaraderie, friendship that I have gained from you guys. Y'all are the epitome of what the world needs more of.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you. Wow.
Wow. That's awesome, buddy. It's when Dad and I first started this thing, this YouTube thing, we had no idea what it was going to turn into. And literally, it feels like we have extended family. And I know you feel that way too, with people all over the country that have joined this community, all over the world, really.
Yeah.
Joined this community. And it's not just us. It's people like you or Matt Bay or Danny Meadows or anybody that has kind of part of this community. We know you could go to to Maine and probably stay with Bob Hatch in Maine, and it's not just us. I think that we all have friends that we've made all over the place. So and that's an aspect that we just never saw. I never dreamed that would happen, but man, it's cool. It's really, really cool.
Well, it's amazing. You're right. I mean, it's there's a kindred spirit amongst the wood carvers, and we're all out to help each other. Bo Trower is literally 4 blocks away from me.
Yeah.
Bo is a super guy, and he runs his. He has a little business in a town about 22 miles from here, Alvin, Texas, which is where Nolan Ryan grew up.
Oh.
But he has a store in an antique mall, and he sells his sports collectibles and his wood signs and stuff. And every time Bo posts something for his store, I immediately share it onto my page and send people his way.
Yeah.
The point I'm making is we're 4 blocks apart from each other, literally 4 blocks apart from each other. We don't have the same customers. We have not pushed into each other's clientele.
Yep.
There's that much work out there to be had.
Yeah.
And so I am more than willing to help anybody who, if I can help them get going, I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm tickled to death. I'm 2 subscribers away from having 100 on my channel.
oh, fantastic. So everybody that's watching this, go over there and subscribe to Frank. Let's get him up over 100 and gaining more. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, Pop's Custom Signs LLC on YouTube.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I never dreamed that it would get that away, and it wasn't what my goal was to get it out there. My goal actually was to record what I'm doing, so that if I need to do something again, I can go back and look at something and learn from it, maybe find a different way to do it.
Right.
But what I've revolved into doing with it now, Eric, is I shoot my daily videos on the projects. I edit them in the evening, and then I save them up to YouTube as a unlisted file.
Yeah.
And then I send my customers a daily link so they get to see an update every day on their project.
Yep.
They feel connected. They look forward to it, and it's giving me great feedback.
That's awesome.
They love it, and they really like it. And then once it's all done, then I'll start releasing them one day at a time to mark them to the public. I'll schedule a release, and they go that way. So I've just recently started doing that, and I mean, probably my last 2, maybe 3 projects I've done that.
Yeah.
And the response has been phenomenal from my customers. So I call it my CPUs, my customer project updates.
Yep.
That's what I call my little daily videos.
Yep. And and even to take it to the next step, you could use it, because that's what I've always thought. If I was just making signs and selling signs, I would use these platforms as tools to gain more business and retain the business that you are, like what you're doing. But you can also use it as a marketing tool. So when you're talking with somebody, so you've got an inquiry, well, here's a link, go check out my channel, and you can see the last project I did, or pick 2 or 3 really good videos of good projects, and you could use those as marketing tools. So there's so many different ways. Yeah.
One of the things I'm thinking about doing on my next business card when I order is on the back, I'm going to put 2 different QR codes, one to my Facebook page and one to my YouTube channel. So the customer can take my business card, flip it over, and just scan it, and it takes them right to the link. They don't have to type it in.
Oh,
and you can create those codes yourself real cheap for free.
Is that those little square things that
Yep.
So you can just scan
Got all the funny swirls and stuff in them? Yeah.
Scan it with a smartphone or something?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Right.
I didn't even know about that. That's fascinating. I thought you had to be a big wig and a lot of money to create those things.
You can create those for free.
Wow.
You can go online and download a generator for free, create your own. And I have done those playing around and printed them out on paper, just regular notebook paper or printer paper, and scanned it with my phone, and it actually works. Takes it right to your link.
Wow.
And
You,
so I'm going to, I'm going to probably start getting that done on the back of my business cards.
It's a great idea. Terrific idea. That way they don't have to type anything in. That's a
great idea. That's type. You scan it, and it takes you right to it.
I think you should share that website where we can download those for free.
Yeah, where did you find that QR code?
Just Google for QR code generator.
Oh, okay. QR code.
And you can find them.
Okay. All right.
The letter Q, letter R, generators, QR generators, and you'll find them. They're easy. They're all over. and there's nothing to do. I mean, it's real easy to put the information in.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah, I definitely got to check that out. I could see where that could be a great marketing tool as well.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Terrific.
And but then I've also I saved my CPUs in a playlist.
Yeah.
So I keeping them separated that way,
Yeah.
and then it makes it easier to go back and look. And I've actually the U.S. shaped flag that I've done. I think it was Darren Smith asked me about those, and I gave him the link or told him about looking up either Emma's Hugs or the St. Anthony Project, where I've made those two, and gave him the information about how I made them so he could go back and see.
Fantastic.
And the playlist helps. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Any advice to new sign carvers that have only been doing this for a month or so? Any advice you could give?
Yeah. Learn to take it easy on yourself. We're our own worst critics.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get better until you do it.
Yeah.
And you're starting out, it's not going to be as good, but you're going to have pride in what you've done, I promise you. Number two is take your time. Enjoy what you're doing, have fun with what you're doing. Number three, learn to carve deeper. When I went to your seminar, Eric, I thought I was carving deeper. I thought I was carving deep enough. And I showed you my Live to Ride sign, and you said, man, that's great for your first pass. I said, what do you mean? That's 3 passes to get to my finished depth. So learn to carve deep, okay?
There you go.
And the other thing is push yourself. Push your boundaries. I do more than signs out of my little shop now. Signs are still my bread and butter, and it's what I love to do the most. But I just did 2 cremation urns,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I did not take into consideration how many flat surfaces had to mesh and be parallel and perpendicular with each other to have a good-looking project.
Yeah.
And the first one took me 12 and a half hours to make. The second one took me 2.5 to finish.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you learn. You're never going to stop learning. Learn something every day.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing that I would tell anybody out there that's wanting to get into this is don't wait. Don't hesitate. Get into it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun. You know, I was chatting with one of the other guys on one of the channels, and he was asking, you know, about doing this full time. You know, how many people quit their jobs to do it full time?
I saw
I
that.
didn't quit. Yeah, I didn't quit. I retired. It's work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's work to get it going. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to think about that you're not normally thinking about when you're just doing your carvings.
Yeah.
Starting a business, there's a lot of pitfalls that you can fall into. So I was fortunate. I worked with a small business development center at our local college, and they're affiliated with the University of Houston, which is affiliated with the federal government. So it's all grant. Cost me absolutely nothing to do this.
Yeah.
They had 2 $25 seminars that I took. Wasn't required to take them. I took them just for extra knowledge. But everything, they'll help you write the business plan. They'll help you find financing. They'll help you find a place to do your business if you need real estate. They'll help you find customers with your database. They'll help you with your taxes, filing your reports and all. It'll help you find CPAs. They do it all for free. It has cost me $0.
Wow.
So find a small business development center, usually associated with a college somewhere. Get into that program, and I bet you they'll help you. Phenomenal people. I can't shout their praises enough. What they've done to help me.
That's fantastic. That's really cool.
Don't hesitate. Get in there and get after it.
Yeah.
Well, my
Yep.
I think we're gonna close this thing up. We've lost power, and
It's getting really hot.
the air conditioner went off, and I think we've gone up about 15 degrees. We're starting to
Oh, good.
glow. Yeah, we're starting to glow. So thank you so much, buddy. I so appreciate you and everything that all the support and all the kind words and just everything. And and my Vikings cup. I love it all.
Well, it's my pleasure. It's just an inkling of the payback that we owe to all of y'all. And I've told everybody that the way y'all are on the videos is the way y'all are in real life, and we love y'all for it.
Well,
Thank you.
So thanks again. You guys are the best.
Oh, that's sweet.
We love you, buddy. We want to take a road trip, come down and see you. So we'll try and put something together.
Hey, come on down. Coffee's hot, water's wet.
Okay, sounds good. All right, brother.
All right.
We're gonna get out of here and leave you alone. Let you go on with your evening.
All right. Y'all have a good one. I enjoyed this. Thanks ever so much.
All right,
You're
Frank.
absolutely welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, buddy. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.